Hello, welcome to another episode of Sculpted Through the Darkness, Revelation, and Living Gnosis. In my previous video, we talked about intrapsychic influence and cultivating a healthy survival response in the system, and the ways that having a survival response starts to blend and merge with the interdimensional influence that our world experiences, and especially through technology. Um, but overall, and in this video, I'm both excited and nervous to share. um, it is a more tender share in the sense that I'm openly bringing in something that used to create a lot of shame in my body. I did experience a lot of shame. You'll see in this teaching the ways that I was able to share my experience in a way where the wisdom that comes through is just so valuable, no matter what you're experiencing in your body. What I really want to bring into this conversation is the bio mystical revelation that happens when we're actually communing with our animal body as a whole unit. So, the ways that our psyche and our organs and our brain are actually working together to cultivate our experience in our body. um, my work comes in a way where we're not just going deep into the psyche, but we're actually resting and stabilizing and grounding into our root up. So we're actually getting into the ground of the body, and so we can rest into what's always been true. That is why I wanted to title this episode "The Lump in My Breast and the Truth That Was Underneath It." It's so tender in the sense that we've been taught to outsource things like this, not just in this lifetime, but for generations. We've been taught that when we experience disease in our body, that the first thing that we should do is go get another opinion, that the first thing that we should do is to go get it checked out, that the first thing that we should do is get on a strict protocol and fix ourselves. I want to make it clear that this is not medical advice, right? I feel like that's obvious. This is not medical advice. I'm obviously not a doctor, but what I am sharing is the body's innate response, healing response to the healing process that happens in the body. I'm not talking about healing in a way where you're digging and you're journaling and you're blah 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 blah, but a natural self-organization and self-ordering that flowers in the body when we actually commune with her, when we actually commune with what's true. So this is really just to share my experience with the wisdom that I have integrated through it, but it is not to tell anyone what to do with their body. So just making that clear. This is for educational purposes. It's to bring my story deeper into the conversation and yeah, just spark some change in the psyche to alleviate any confusion that there might be when it comes to sickness in the body. um, and I pray that my story and my wisdom, at the very least, at the very least, shifts the ways that you experience symptoms and things in your body. In the previous episode, I did talk about like things, how bracing impact can create digestive issues and hormonal imbalances and sleep problems and all these things. So really on this podcast, I have given a lot of taste when it comes to the ways that we can pair the psyche, the organs, and the brain and the body in a way where, again, this is all about the human animal. So it's not just only being in the mystical, but bringing in the intellect in a way where the intellect is not creating limitation, but the intellect is coming together with the imagination to create a bio mystical revelation in the body to truly create change. So I pray that this is supportive. Again, at the very least, I there's something I say in this too, where I'm not one to share these really intimate processes more publicly. Um, but that's what an ongoing revelation is. I'm feeling called to it now because yes, it's still tender, but um, it's not as personal. It feels more transpersonal now. It feels like now it's ready to make its way. Um, and I never want my intention to be like, I'm just pushing this because I want to get clients. But obviously, I want to share this because I want this medicine. I want this wisdom to land in more women's bodies, not just women, but human bodies. Because yes, I'm talking about the female anatomy, talking about the breasts, but this is about sickness in the human animal and how underneath it, it is not what we've been taught. It is not what our psyche has taken on. It just isn't. And so, yeah, thank you for being here. Um, I love receiving DMs. I love comments, anything. If it feels more intimate, please DM me. Um, I love to commune and I would love to hear how this lands for you, what arises for you. I do have an upcoming, my ear is itchy, but I do have an upcoming 2-part live somatic ceremony ritual where we will be getting into the tissues and getting into the flesh. And this work, I hold it with such deep reverence and so sacred. I create really powerful containment around it. Um, so yeah, I'll go ahead and link that below. But thank you for being here, and I love you. And I'm nervous for this to be public, but we're here. Okay.
Started to connect through the patterns that he noticed in nature. He started to see that the emotional shock of losing his son created cancer in his body. So he created this entire model called Germanic New Medicine. And there's certain like phases that happen in the body that actually tell you that your body is healing. But in modern medicine, when people experience these symptoms, they go and they get a scan and they get told that it's cancer because the machine is saying you have a cancer there rather than them understanding that their body is actually moving through a healing process, right? So Germanic New Medicine gives us this model. It's just one of the many tools that we can use. Um, and mainly what I like about these tools is, like Joanna asked me before, gnosis is a noetic science, right? So a noetic science means that we're taking our inner knowing, what our body is already speaking to us, and we're using these models that we have available in an objective sense to reason our revelation, right? Revelation needs reason as well. Sometimes it's just intuition, like I know, I feel, yes. And there is a reasoning in our revelation. We have the revelation, there's always going to be a reasoning without limitation. So in Germanic New Medicine, the psyche is regarded as an integral part of the human biology. So that's basically what we've been talking about this whole time, right? That's what I talk about a lot. So the psyche, brain, and organs are 3 levels of one unified organism, the human animal, right? So these 3 things are actually working together as a unit, which is why we're pairing the myth and the body work and the biology and all these things, because they're all working together to bring us just back to the body. So, okay, so before I get too much into, let me share with you guys like what this unraveling has been like for me. and how isolating it can be. But so, oh my God, I'm going to send a podcast with this too. I'm getting excited, or I am excited. Um, so in 2024, was it? I'm trying to think if this was before I did Caitlin's bodywork class or after. Either way, right around the time in 2024 when I started doing bodywork, I was in my room. It wasn't my room. I was living, I had just moved in like with my family and I had gotten like my own bedroom, but the bedroom didn't have a door at Sean's. So I was in the bedroom, but it didn't have a door. It was like a curtain. So essentially there still wasn't a lot of intimacy and it wasn't my bedroom. But I remember sitting on the floor and just like being with my body, and I noticed, and this was like the first time, right? Because who was taught to check their breasts for lumps growing up, right? You were told like if you feel a lump, then go get it checked, right? Yeah, yeah. Not a coincidence that we're like told that. Um, don't feel your body just to feel your body and have a relationship to it. Check to see if you need to be fixed. Right? That's basically what's happening with that. So basically, that's what happened with me. I was feeling around my body, and on my right breast, I noticed a lump on my right breast. Right. And me being me, I just went into research mode because I'm me. Like, I was like, feeling around, and at first, I was just like, right away, my body was like, the voice that's like always there was like, yeah, this is showing you need to express yourself more. And this is kind of what I was sharing with Joanna last year in Costa Rica. I was like, I really just felt like in the moment that it was pairing and connecting with where I wasn't in my expression, where I was holding back on my expression. Um, Obviously, we bring in the fact that I'm like in a physical home with my family. So I've got like my inner teen, my inner child. I got my mom around me. I got my stepdad. I got my nieces and my nephews. So not only am I experiencing all this stuff, but in hindsight, obviously, I'm going to start noticing my body responding to what's happening in my environment. So I noticed this, and like looking in hindsight, it 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 created a lot of shame because I had up to this point I was doing everything right, right? I'm taking care of my body. I'm feeling all my emotions. I'm doing all my inner work. I'm blah 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 blah, all the things that come with this journey. I'm doing generational healing. And in hindsight, I was honestly trying to do too much. And my body started to tell me, my animal body started to tell me, you've been doing too much. Even if my doing too much looks different than what somebody else's doing too much is. Somebody else's doing too much is never resting, going to work, blah, blah, blah. Mine looks like doing inner work until I'm blue in the face. Like that's what a lot of my journey was. It's like, I'm doing everything. How? So there was a lot of shame, um, and a lot of loneliness because Joanna knows this about me. I don't like being told what to do, right? So I felt that sharing this with anyone would mean that somebody would be trying to tell me what to do. And I didn't want to be told what to do. I wanted to figure it out on my own. I wanted to come to answers on my own. That's just like kind of part of my blueprint. Is this innate instinct to tune to myself first, to my sovereign body first. Um, what I did not anticipate is that even a year later, this lump would still be there, right? So I'm learning. I went deeper into Germanic new medicine. Um, I was watching like other women's testimony, like very specifically watching other women who had breast cancer and practiced the stuff in Germanic new medicine, and literally like their lump vanished. Um, I was doing all these things. I was studying, I was experiencing. But what's crazy is I didn't actually start to get into my breasts until this year, right? So even though I was studying, I wasn't fully in the embodiment and the experience of getting into my breast tissue, getting into the fascia of my breasts. I also learned this year that this is really trippy, but our soul in a different life could have experienced something that we bring with us into this lifetime. So if in a different life I had a cancer, I can bring that cancer with me into this lifetime. It starts to, like, a lot of people don't know this, but they can be living with cancer their whole lives because it starts to fester like as soon as we're born. Because we're not born into a sovereign psyche, we're born into a collective psyche. We're born into a hive mind. We're not born into a sovereign psyche. We have to remember that we're sovereign. It's a remembering, not like a thing that just happens, right? So, what I learned is that swollen breast tissue, our whole, like, you guys, you can relook if you haven't watched in a while, but our lymph system is connected to our breast, right? So, if there's no blood flow, if there's no lymph flow, then it's going to create a ball of energy in the body and it's going to create sickness, right? In the most simple objective sense, that's all it was that I didn't have lymph and blood flow, right? I also learned that our I am wow. The location of these things in our body are actually directly correlated with our handedness. So I'm left-handed and it's my right breast, which I thought was really fucking cool. And it's strongly, our lymph flow is strongly connected to our self-devaluation. So when we have a self-devaluation conflict, when we're not valuing ourselves, it creates a conflict in our body and it creates a swelling. So I'm not even just speaking to the breasts here. I'm talking about like when we get sick, right? Whenever our body is moving through any type of healing process, we're taught that there's something that needs to be fixed, but it's because there's a conflict that's happening in our body. There's a conflict that's happening in our system, right? I didn't have a lump on my breast, which, by the way, like, it's not what it was. It's gone down completely naturally just by me like communing with it. Um, but it's just telling us that there's a conflict that's there. The swelling in Germanic New Medicine, the swelling is the healing phase. So when people go to the doctors and they get these scans and they say like, oh, that's a malignant tumor, whatever, that's actually the body in a fucking healing phase. And guess what happens when you get diagnosed? You have fear of death, of whatever the fuck comes with that, but at the deepest core, that's fear of death, right? What happens when somebody gets diagnosed with endometriosis? They get diagnosed with uterine prolapse, all these things. They have fear. They need to get it removed. Removing organs from the human body just is fucking insane to me. Why the fuck are we removing organs? That's literally insane to me in and of itself, right? So Joanna mentioned, where is it? I thought I was going to get emotional, but I think it's because I got emotional before and I just get really like, I get really excited, passionate. Joanna said the self-abandonment thing, right? You said the self-abandonment. Water retention in the body is active abandonment and is an active abandonment. When we're experiencing water retention, inflammation, sickness, whatever, it's actually an active abandonment that's in process. Bacteria in our body assists in the healing process. So when people go and take antibiotics, they're fucking with their natural bacteria, and the bacteria can't do what it's designed to do. Like, we're getting into like the nitty gritty of what our animal body is designed to do. So something, and when there's a swelling anywhere, it's a cell increase. And the cell increase is actually a replenishing process in the body. So I'm experiencing all these things as I'm actively communing with my breast. So wild. I was experiencing inflammation yesterday and processing some ways that I wanted to make my clients' issues mine and working through that. Yeah, It's fucking insane, right? Like you're in your psyche, you're like your body's like, bitch. This is we're trying to hold it all, right? In your body, so your body literally starts to hold. Your body literally starts to hold. Um, so conventional medicine says that it's fighting, right? Like you're having these things happen in your body, and they're like, well, we need to fight it. 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 But then people go years and years and years fighting it, and then that's how they end up. They end up like losing their life because they spend the rest of their life fighting it instead of trusting and embracing that their body is doing what it's designed to do. And it's valid because who wants to just like feel like they're just sitting around while their body is experiencing all these things?
Shan, you're frozen.
I thought it was me.
We're all just like looking at each other.
Yeah, I thought
It's like, someone
I,
needs to say something.
I thought it was me. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for it to come back because I've been freezing a little bit, but that was funny.
I was literally. Yeah. No, she definitely, yeah, she's super frozen.
Yeah, what happened? Her computer.
Mm-hmm.
She
Oh,
said,
there she goes.
electric something, 1 second.
Oh,
She texted me.
as we sit here and watch Jasmine do her nose.
Yeah. Wait, you're muted.
I was actually wondering why Shani stopped talking. I was like, are people watching me contour? Like, I don't know.
I love your curls, Haley.
They're so beautiful, for real.
They are so beautiful.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm very thankful for my curly lashes and my curly hair. Curly lashes. It's low maintenance, you know? Joanne.
I'm hungry.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She's online.
Shaniki.
She's back. It's quiet. Quiet. Shh.
Hi guys.
We were talking shit.
Don't talk shit about me.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, speaking of like self-worth, the only reason why my laptop does that is because it has to be plugged in when I use it. So if the electric goes out, then my laptop goes out, and I don't allow myself to be financially provided for. So um whatchamacallit?
That's you're plugged into the matrix, so your computer's plugged in. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so if something happens, it's like um I'm sharing my screen again, right? Okay, so we're back on the breastplates. Um so yeah, conventional medicine says that we're fighting. So when we already have that in our psyche that we need to fight a sickness, we need to fight a cancer, we need to fight our body's natural response. Our our bodies, I need to present. Our bodies are instinctual whether we're responsive to it or not. Like Joanna's body yesterday, the inflammation was your body's instincts. Your body's gnosis was, this is too much to hold. And now I'm going to be inflamed. This is a lot for me to hold. And I've moved through that. I've been moving through that too, like the making other people's issues yours. I think it just comes with our work that we do. Like we want to see healing. My brain said it was me. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, I even like when I first like started communing with my breast in this way, I even was thinking like, well, maybe I need to get stricter. And you know how I am with food, Joanna. Like I have a lot of like harmony, and I have like a baseline of whole foods and all these things, but I like to enjoy what I enjoy. And I even had this thought like, well, maybe I need to buckle down and get stricter and like all these things. But that comes with needing to fight, right? It comes with needing to fight for our health. My storage. One second. So swollen auxiliary nodes, which is like all these nodes that are like all in here, right? Is a healing cancer. So in our perspective of cancer and all these things, we can look to our body as it's actually like, just think about it being like upside down. Like everything we're told is like upside down of what our body's natural response actually is. So I did a lot of research on the root of breasts, right? So you don't have to, like what I'm speaking here, I'm not speaking to like you have to have a lump in your breast to like take in what I'm saying. What I want to speak to is the underlying energy of our breasts, which is like linked to the ways that we view ourselves, our self-worth, the ways that we abandon ourselves, right? All these things come into play when it comes to our relationship to our breasts. So I noticed when I was writing down, because I'm really just precise and attuned to like what's happening, when I had to move into my grandma's over the summer, because we were in between houses. So right when we moved out of my stepdad's house, we moved into, and I had to move into my grandma's. I noticed my body went into I wrote a noticeable inflammation right around moving into my mom's. When I moved into my grandma's, it was summertime. Haley knows this. When you're a Leo in the summertime, you got a lot of extra fire you don't know what to do with. So during the summer, I started like having a lot more circulation and blood flow because I was outside at my grandma's a lot, so I was sweating a lot. Because I was sweating a lot, there was an increase in my inflammation in my lymph nodes. So my lymph nodes actually became more swollen. But I've actually noticed recently that every time I'm coming into a deeper embodiment of my self-worth, I actually have a lymph flare-up. So I'm actually experiencing that right now with the initiation I'm moving through with like marketing and wanting to be compensated for my services and just like wanting what I want without explaining myself. I'm moving through a deeper initiation there, and I'm literally experiencing a lymph node flare up because I'm embodying my self-worth deeper. So this is why I'm really passionate about teaching these things and sharing these things with you guys, because it's almost like we need to be able to allow our body to move through these processes if we actually want to see change in our reality occur. If I'm experiencing a lymph node flare up and I decided that's something that I need to fight, then my body is not moving through its descent. It's not moving through its initiation process because I'm deciding that I need to actually go get this fixed instead of it just doing what it needs to do. So what else did I write? So essentially when we're doing body work, this was me that wrote this down. Our body is healing from healing, right? So when we're doing body work and we start to bring fascia more into the conversation, it's less about how much inner work we are doing and more about how we are integrating all the inner work with our fascia, with our body's memory, with the physical component of self-touch in a platonic way, not just sexual, right? Because again, you look on social media, women are like, self-pleasure, vibrators, all these things. That's literally still bypassing the healing that needs to occur. Sometimes it really just does suck for a minute. Sometimes the body is Joanna. Joanna's literally like my voice on my shoulder. I've been talking to her about it is a good marketing point. So Joanna, the post, remember I told you about that I was fascinated by like the bracing impact thing I've been having revelations around. I wrote in my writing the post that I'm going to make, I'm actually getting deeper into what bracing impact can happen, which is like digestive issues, anxiety. Like I'm allowing myself to get more technical because I'm sitting here sharing my story with you guys, and I'm not that person that wants to share this stuff on social media because it's good marketing. I don't want to share my really intimate personal story all over social media. I want to share it in my spaces, but I don't want to like share it openly just because I think that it's going to bring in more clients. So yes, exactly. I'm learning how to communicate it in an objective way, right? Like Caitlin, she's like, OBGYN, blah, blah, blah. Like Caitlin's not trying to like only share her personal story. She's like, no, this is the fucking facts. Yeah, it's relevant to all things. So if you look into Germanic New Medicine, every organ has a thing. So you can look into Germanic New Medicine and you can look at skin, like eczema, skin psoriasis, all the things you're saying, and it'll tell you what it's linked to. The breasts are also linked to nesting conflict with our mom. So as we're communing with the mother and we're communing with our breasts, we're also linking to any nesting conflicts. Because guess what? I can't nest into my own space if I'm experiencing a nest conflict from when I was younger. Because my mom wasn't around my first year. She was playing basketball in college, so she was only really home on the weekends. So I have a major nesting conflict with feeling nourished and held and provisioned and all these things by the mother. So I do like have to get off at 1:30 today because I'm leaving here at 2. So I'm gonna leave you guys off with a cliffhanger. I won't go too deep into the rest of the stuff right now, but mainly what I want to say about Germanic New Medicine is that you can trust your body. You can trust what your body is doing, like Joanna yesterday with the inflammation, and being able to bring that into the conversation today with knowing like what's processing in the psyche as the body is moving through its physical evolution. I also wanted to add into the conversation that when we're doing body work, it's less about transformation and it's more about, you're going to see me talk about this more on my social media, the ongoing revelation that happens. You're always going to be experiencing revelation when you're bringing the body into the conversation. So it's more so, how am I stabilizing the revelation, not reaching for transformation? Right? Yeah, it's good, huh? Yeah. Right? Because if we're only touching our body because we want transformation, then we're staying in that same narrative that there's something wrong with us and we need to fix it and get rid of it and change it as quickly as possible. Shanice, you're gold. Oh, thanks for tending and nourishing my self-worth wounds. You're gold. I love you. Thank you. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to share my story, because it's like, this is why I have so much wisdom around this, because of this experience. I don't have this wisdom because I randomly decided to look up Germanic New Medicine and like write down notes. It's like, no, I was literally moving through a really, really intimate process in my body, and I wanted answers, but the answers didn't actually come until I allowed myself to truly experience what was happening. And I was able to just pair all my wisdom and interconnect it all. So what I want to bring in is, it's like, you can trust your body. You don't have to fear your symptoms. We can pair the story like we're doing now with the area of the brain with our emotional biological conflicts, right? If I have an emotional conflict of self-abandonment, of being abandoned, I have a story of abandoning myself, and now I'm experiencing something in my body, I can bring that all together, right? It's not happening separately. Our work together will always come back to the human animal functioning as a whole unit. Nothing's happening separately, right? My stuff with money is a major thing. It's not happening separately. So something that I wrote is, our bodies are, we have to reframe. Like I'm using absolutes here because that's how on fire I am about this. We have to reframe what it means when our body's in survival. Our bodies are literally designed to survive. We're just so disconnected from nature that we're just like kind of like swirling around and like, I'm dysregulated. No, like your body is designed to survive. How can you actually work with this, embrace this instead of fighting the natural survival response that your body is having? Right? Because if I'm just like, I literally, it drives me nuts, and Joanna's gonna be like, more marketing. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts when yeah, overstimulated. It drives me nuts when people are like basically they're insinuating that you need to heal away your survival instincts. It's like nowadays that's the new thing. It's like the new thing is like heal it's your survival response. Okay, and or we can bring in Dr. Joe Dispenza. Are you in survival or creation? Who says I need to be in one or the other? It's just about understanding how my human animal is designed. Right? I've been seeing the same thing in some women's circles. Women shouldn't be violent. Let somebody, like what? There's a difference between being violent in my psyche and having a relationship with my violence. Because I grew up with 4 little brothers. My mom is a fucking mama bear. I have seen my mom get into fights for my brothers. Okay, like I have a fucking mama bear. Best believe I'm gonna learn that it's okay to protect the people around me. My brothers would literally kill for me, right? We're bringing more tribe into the conversation. My containers are tribe. Like you guys already know that at this point. Like we're talking ancient shit that it's like this isn't like a social media content thread that's telling you why your nervous system is dysregulated and how you need to just calm down and breathe. It's a lot more nuanced than that. Sometimes, yes, we need to just sit and breathe. But guess what? Joanna knows this, Haley knows this, Jasmine knows this. When we actually just allow our animal body to respond how it wants to, guess who can actually rest more? The body. But if I'm just trying to bypass my nervous system, I'm going to be seeking peace. I'm not going to be actually experiencing it. There's a difference between my body is experiencing the rage that it needs to, yes, exactly, it's expression. When you go to the gym, your body is coming into expression, right? When you're communing with your body and body work, you're bringing your body into an expression, right? Expression isn't just like how Jasmine said, you've noticed that you're not forcing words as much. That's still expression, right? Just because you're not using your words as much, you're still expressing yourself in a different way, right? Because sometimes like there's like certain things you see where it's like you need to be using your voice. Again, this is why I'm always going to bring you guys back to your own body, because I can't tell you what you need. I can inform you. And then one more thing, body work is meant to self-facilitate resolution of the conflicts that we are experiencing in our body. Right? So we're creating resolution. We're not fighting symptoms. We're creating resolution. Right? This conversation is important because symptoms happen. They're not anything to worry about. If someone is not abandoning when it comes to health-related matters, that would look like tending in the sense of being there for said thing, I'm assuming, aka body work. Yeah. Right? Meeting it. Yeah, exactly, Joanna. Yeah, because like let's say like I could have had a whole different storyline if I experienced this lump on my breast and then I said like I'm not going to the doctor and I'm not doing anything about it. Right? I could have been like, well, I'm not going to the doctor because I don't just not go to the doctors because I'm like fighting the medical system. I'm not going to the doctor because I'm communing with my animal body and I trust my animal body first and foremost. Right? And I've experienced this in so many ways in my body, and it'll probably keep coming up and depending on where we're going in our storyline. But mainly, I wanted to bring that into the breast conversation today. Because the most important thing that I want you guys to know in this next week of communing with the breasts is that our intention is lymph flow, blood flow. Because if we're not moving lymph flow and blood flow in our breasts, then we're not delivering that message to the rest of our body, to our spine, to our rib cage, to our diaphragm, right? Our body is a connected, unified whole. So you're not just communing with your breasts. There's a natural byproduct of communing with your breasts that echoes into your entire body, like the throat with the uterus, right? It echoes into your entire body. Because I know sometimes, like, because we're such expressive beings, it's like, well, what if it's not the breast? It's always something connecting with something. So what I want for you guys to do this week is to, if you need to revisit the breast anatomy thing, do that. It's only like 20 minutes. And every day, set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes. And even if it just looks like you're pressing on one spot, like body work isn't always like massaging. Sometimes it literally is just like being in the one spot and holding it and breathing, right? Sometimes I'm moving my arm, I'm like moving my body, and I'm just like pressing and holding and breathing, right? All I'm doing is communicating with my organ in the most simple sense. So I want you guys to communicate with the organ. I'm going to put this in the school and stuff too. You're communicating with the breasts while also communing with the self-abandonment, the self-protective mechanisms, self-worth, all these things that are linked to the breast, really leaning into where that lands you in your story with reclaiming, with resting into your innate value, your innate worth that you don't need to earn. And that's what Venus is all about, is our worth, art, money, love, sex, fertility. All these things kind of come back to being able to rest into the fact that we are already worthy because we are. But we can't rest into that if our body doesn't feel like it can. So I really want you guys to commune with that. And I will be making another thread for the resources. And if you guys just want to look into Germanic New Medicine on your own time, Jasmine, you asked about the skin. But I think that's it for today. Oh, one more thing. This is what we have in common with animals. Like what I'm speaking to, animals' bodies, excuse me, like a snake shedding its skin. We have that in common with a snake. It doesn't make us a snake, but we shed our skin just like a snake. When a snake is going through its skin shedding process, is the snake questioning why it's shedding its skin, or is the snake just shedding its skin because that's what the snake is designed to do? It's the snake coming into the snake's expression, right? So that's all we're doing is we're coming back to what our bodies are already designed to do. I'm just telling you what your body already knows. But what I love about Germanic New Medicine is it brings the psyche and the mind into the conversation, because the psyche and the mind is what wants to like seek answers when the body already knows. There is no gnosis without the body. I don't care who is on social media is talking about like you still need the Bible for gnosis, because I have seen that. Like if I still need the Bible for gnosis, what am I? No, gnosis comes back to the body. And what you choose to do from there, if you want to read the Bible, whatever, cool. But gnosis comes back to the animal body, the human animal. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's embodied explanation. Thank you guys for listening. I feel good. I feel grounded. I feel rooted. I don't feel like I was like too vulnerable, so that's nice. So we have 6 minutes. Do you guys have any questions?
I asked a question in the chat if you're open to sharing your story at the retreat before we do body work.
Oh, I just saw that. Yeah, I would love that. It'll be another initiation for me doing it in person.
Yeah, I feel like just the story behind it is really inspiring and like gives it like
zest and like even more I can feel the energy of inspiration on the call from you sharing your story. Like it inspires women to want to take action on this instead of just being like body work. It's like, well, why? You know,
Yeah.
it's like what we all want to know the why. Our freaking minds want to know the why or like the how or like the deeper stuff. So I think you did a really great job at explaining the depth of it. That is like really inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys might see me talk. I mean, now that I've shared it with you guys and like all the women that can watch this replay, you might see me actually talking about it more now because my biggest thing is being able to share things from an objective place. I don't like to share while I'm in the process. And I'm always like in the process in a way, but now I can share it from a less emotional place and I can just share it from like an objective. So I was thinking of like not creating a little Instagram thread, but like sharing about it on my podcast. Maybe even like bringing in little snippets from this. You know what I mean? Because I do want to, like Joanna was just saying, like it does bring in, it's my story, right? And what I'm learning, the more that I love Sophia's story, the more that I love my own story. Right? Like for so long, I thought that my birth story was so traumatic, and now I'm like, I love that that was my birth story. I literally came into this plane of mystery, and like now I'm like,
I was gonna say, no, keep going. And then I'll say my
no, I was just gonna say that now I'm like leading mystery schools, and I literally came into this life of mystery. Like no one knew I was there, and I was just like growing. No one knew my mom was pregnant. My mom didn't know she was pregnant. Like I was a literal mystery.
That's so funny. I was thinking about when you I forgot that you were left-handed. I'm like, this alien was so unique that she decided like your uniqueness is such a path in this life that it's like you were like, yeah, I'm gonna get a human avatar with the left hand. Fuck it, everyone's right-handed, not me, bitches.
Yeah, and I'm freaking like I'm always like I've been in so many containers where I'm like the only colored girl. Why am I always the only colored girl? Why am I always the only one that's like half African American? Like what?
Yeah, honestly, we do need more of that, like in spaces, like more African Americans, and you bring that zest.
That's what my gnosis with the like that's what led me into my gnosis with the blood. It was my African American. Definitely wasn't the white girl in me. Like it was the African American was like your blood is magic. You need to like go deeper into this. Like I don't know what else could have got it. Like it's definitely the witchy African in me. That's like your blood is magic. It definitely wasn't the German Catholic in me. Um, but that's also why I've experienced such conflict in my body is because I'm half black and half white. I'm literally a living conflict. My great grandma was fucking racist, and my mom is the only one that has mixed kids. So I'm the first granddaughter, the first mixed child in the fucking family, bro. Like like it's so funny the ways that my like soul created this life is like Joanna just said, like for that reflection, like you're just unique in every situation.
And your crazy abs and body that's just out of this world.
Thank you.
That's cosmic.
I know, and that's why it pisses me off. Like some women are like soft belly. I'm like, you don't have to have a soft belly to experience a soft belly. My belly is soft, even though you can't see it. I have a soft belly. It's becoming softer. But like you see so much in like these feminine spaces. But again, I want you guys to know, like, I'm not just speaking to woman, I'm speaking to human animal. Human animal kills. I'm not saying I'm going to go kill things, but I'm just saying like the human animal has instincts that are important. To just say like it's womanhood, yes, and there's a specific hive mind in what it means to be a woman. I've been seeing a lot of spaces that's like um a woman is just supposed to be carried by life. No, I want to learn how to fight. I don't want to just be carried by life. But also, I am always carried by life, but that doesn't mean that I need to be like soft belly and like just be have faith. that's the yeah, there's so much mirroring back to me, and like Joanna keeps saying, it's my own frustrations with like what I want to say and not saying it. Um, but I have to remember that there are women that need this frequency and need this resonance, because there are women, like I know so many women that have come to me like they feel so weird because they don't want to have kids, and that's been such a big thing for me, is the kid conversation. But I'm speaking to cosmic motherhood, bro. Cosmic motherhood, not I need to have kids to be a mother, right? And first, that means we need to be a mother to our bodies. We need to learn to nourish, replenish, nurture our bodies. And women have always come to me for the softness and the strength. Same with Joanna. That's why we did so good in our fitness days. Yeah, and the ways that I see womanhood is the human animal, is being a woman as a human animal, right? Because there's like specific, maybe it's just in my mirror because like that's where I'm at, but I've just seen specific things in my mirror that talks about, well, it's like Joanna, you were sharing out in the last call, like talking about what it means to be, it's like none of us can define what it means to be a woman. Yeah, primal woman. We need to, that's why it's like when we come back to human animal, not, well, what is so and so saying about being a woman? What is so and so saying about being a woman? It's like, no, what does it mean to be a human animal with a female body? How about that? I'm a human animal with a female body, with a really, really, really powerful female body that can bring children life into this world. And maybe I don't want to bring children life into this world, but that doesn't mean I don't have the power to bring life into this world, right? We have the power to birth life into this world, whether or not it's an actual child. Even if I decided like I wanted to be single the rest of my life, I get to make that my own definition. I don't think that's going to happen. I do have a cosmic counterpart out there. But if I wanted to be single, I could. And nobody could define that for me, because I get to still experience my human animal body in the ways that I'm meant to experience my human animal body. But I do have to get off. But yes, Joanna, I would love to share that at the retreat. And you might see me share it as a podcast beforehand. But yeah, so I'm about to be on a bus ride for a few hours, so I am going to drop some resources so you guys can look into this on your own time. I know Jasmine is like me and loves to geek out on stuff like this, so you're going to love like the resources. There is a podcast that is about the self-devaluation conflict. If you guys want to listen to that, her name's Melissa. She's an expert in the Germanic new medicine field. She's one of the main people I've listened to, and she talks a lot about how the self-devaluation conflict links with our lymph nodes, and the replay of this too. Yay! All right, ladies. Thanks for being wild, primal,
Thank you.
animal woman with me.
That was so good.
Yay! All right. I love you, ladies.
Love you.
Enjoy your journey, my love. Thank you so much.
And don't forget to commune with your breasts.
Touch them
I'll try
titties.
that.
Yeah. Touch them titties. I'll share it on Telegram too, of course.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
I love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.